is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Honestly, I do think that I dodged a bullet there. And on top of that, people are saying, I guess, that Mike Clum is now working on a documentary with this guy, EDP. Now, here's the thing. I know absolutely nothing about this guy. I've never followed him. I never watched his content. All I know is that he's infamously known on the internet that apparently he was caught out trying to meet with underage girls. I think that's what it is, right? I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But I think that that's the case. That, like, he was a YouTuber who was popular, and then at some point, he got framed, essentially. Like, people were catfishing him so that he would show up to meet underage girls, and then come to find out it was just a frame job. Like, they totally set him up to expose him on the internet for who he really was. But apparently some people say, well, why did he not go to jail? And apparently it's because the way that he was set up, it's not admissible as evidence in court, right? Like technically, because they set him up like that, no crime was ever committed, so he never was held accountable for that behavior. But apparently he got totally canceled on the internet. He fell apart. He went from being a YouTuber who had a prominent channel and everything to basically, like, you know, done. And hey, again, that's all I know from what I've heard, word of mouth. I've never watched a documentary. I haven't done research for myself. That's all I know, okay? And can I be honest here? Because I will be honest with all of you, because people have been asking me about this for the past couple of days, okay?
Doing a 9 to 5 would be easy.
First documentary Mike Clum does is on Boogie. The entire documentary is about Boogie basically being a miserable human being. The sad, dark life of Boogie, right? But who made Boogie's life sad and dark? Was it a group of people who just decided to, you know, ruin his life? No, his life is sad and dark because he is sad and dark. And when you watch that documentary, you see the things in it that, you know, he could improve, he could change for the better, and he just doesn't. He keeps engaging with trolls on social media. He keeps doing the awful life behaviors. He's a miserable wretch because of his own decisions and actions that don't change. Correct?
That's like me, right? That's like me.
And I think what's supposed to happen is, you watch it, you feel sorry for him, and it was supposed to turn his life around. Has it turned his life around? No. Not at all. He's on a lol cow podcast. He freaking keeps doing this kind of almost degenerative content on the internet. He's not going to change. It's pretty obvious at this point, correct?
Oh my god, he's drinking wheelchair donations. Yes.
So then, you know, Mike Clum comes to me and says, I want to do a different kind of documentary with you. It would not be like Boogie's documentary. It would be very different, you know, covering your life and all the things that you've been through, and basically your history as a content creator on the internet, the ups and downs. And yes, it's going to feature people who don't like you talking about you, right? But at the same time, you'll be able to clap back, essentially, and give your side of the story of everything going on, and we'll be able to accurately recount what's happened to you and your business and your channels over the years, and why so many people who literally don't know an actual fact about you don't like you, right? And I like that. I absolutely like that idea, right? And that was essentially what we were going for. It was supposed to be a fair level documentary that's going to cover the good and the bad, but basically if you watched this, it wasn't a pity party documentary. It was going to be more of an honest, and there was going to be some comedy in it, and there was going to be other things in it. You know, it was meant to be an entertaining piece. You know, when you're making a documentary that's like 90 minutes long, you want people to be enjoying every second of it, not on board in this part or whatever, right? So there was going to be all that stuff, right? But, of course, you guys were very apprehensive about it, saying, you know, I don't know if this makes sense to do, because the only documentary that Mike Clum's done up to now is this Boogie documentary that doesn't sound like that, right? It's like, basically, he turned to Boogie. Well, he didn't turn Boogie. Like, this was their idea, you know? Basically, what he wanted to do was make Boogie look pathetic so that people would feel bad for him. And I said, that's not what I want at all. That's not what I want out of my documentary. I'm not sad. My life's not dark. I actually have a really good life.
How can you live with yourself sipping cherry juice and eating turkey burgers while counting the thousands of dollars that you've scammed from children on Twitch? You need to go get a real job.
you know, in regards to my work and my personal life. Just because a million people on the internet talk shit about me daily doesn't mean that I'm not actually in a positive place in my life. That's great. It's the opposite situation of Boogie, right? So, basically, the way I see it, it would have been very different, okay? That's essentially what was discussed. That's what we're going to work on, a different kind of documentary. But now you're going to tell me the next documentary Mike Clum's going to do is this guy EDP. From what everyone says, it's like a slam dunk case. Like, it's not like you can dispute it and say, oh, it was fake. Like, it happened. He was exposed for it, and that's why he got canceled, and that's why he's not prominent anymore, you know. So the thing is, I didn't even know anything about it until you guys told me a couple days ago. You're like, are you aware that Mike Clum's working with EDP? And I'm like, no. And then, of course, it starts showing up in my feed. Boogie has met with EDP, and they're sitting down to eat a meal, and the meal is like a bunch of Big Macs and powdered donuts. And I'm looking at it, I'm like,
fast food, right? Delicious. Fast food is healthy.
Two guys who are grossly obese sitting down to eat Big Macs and donuts together. Does that make any sense? Logically? Morally? Does that make any fucking sense? To have two guys sitting down doing that? No. They're killing themselves, right? It's awful. Why would they be doing that? And then I guess they released a bunch of other, like, production stills of, like, EDP posing in front of a camera dramatically for what's going to be a documentary. And, you know, to be honest here, I think that's about it for me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people already on the internet are very upset with Mike Clum basically saying, why are you giving this guy a venue to be heard when basically we were done with him years ago? Like, we don't want him to have a venue. We don't want him to have a way to speak out about anything because he's a scumbag, essentially, from what was found out about him, right? Again, I don't know, but I'm just speaking from, you know, what I've heard on the internet. So, here's the thing. That's what's funny. The Boogie stuff, EDP stuff, that shit has nothing to do with me or my content or my life, right? At all. Couldn't be further different from my situation at all. You know, I have a full-time, very, you know, productive business that's successful. I have people who support me. I have people who love me in my personal life. My life is going good, except for the fact that there's thousands of people on the internet who shit on me on a daily basis for personal gain. Outside of that, everything's going good.
I haven't had sex in ages.
Phil and his girlfriend aren't doing well because she sleeps in it downstairs. She's sleeping upstairs.
Okay? So I couldn't be further from guys like that. So then why would I be making a documentary with someone who makes those kind of documentaries? Right? And that's kind of the take I have on it. Like, okay, maybe the Boogie one was the first one, but you're going in a different direction. But now the next one is with a guy like EDP. It's like, what? Like, wait, what? I don't know, man. You know, so at the very point here, I'm very happy that I have not gotten wrapped up in all of this shit. You know, in the last year, they tried to get me to go on a stupid lolcow podcast. Thank God I made the completely 100% correct decision to not be involved with that kind of crap. And I'm, you know, doing my own thing. I was interested in doing, you know, this documentary if it was going to be what I was told it was going to be. But now when you're telling me the first two projects that Mike Clum is doing is literally two guys considered ginormous lolcows, not even, I wouldn't even say EDP is a lolcow. EDP is just like, you know, people think of him as a heinous person, right? So, do I want to be on the string of documentaries about people like that? No. No, I don't. And I think now I really looking at the situation. Not only would it not have made sense for me to do the documentary because I don't know how I would have done it with my busy work schedule and lifestyle. It would have completely overworked me and kind of destroyed me, honestly, I think. Right? But in addition, now seeing the string of stuff coming out of that documentary, it's like, I think I definitely made the right decision, man. You know? I really do. I think I made the right decision. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree. Because again, if things did go forward the way that we had discussed, which is what I've been transparent with all of you about, that it was not supposed to be that kind of documentary about a lolcow or a horrible embarrassment or a person with horrible history. It was supposed to be, hey, here's a normal guy running a business, did it his own way, and over the years reacted poorly to the criticism on the internet, and then people just learned to hate him for reasons of personal benefit, and here's that story, right? Now, love him or hate him, go check out his content, and if you like it, good for you, right? If you don't, oh well, at least you got to know his full story so you understand the references you hear all the time. Like, that was supposed to be the point, right? I don't know, I'm actually, perhaps, right, did the right thing here, you know? Because it's funny, like, someone like Bill Williams says, Mike Clum is appealing to a certain type of audience and demographic. I don't think that the final product would have reflected what you intended it to be. Maybe you're right. You know, the thing is, in life, you don't know. You don't know. What you don't take chances on, you don't know what's going to happen. But here's the thing. Last year, I took a chance on an interview that originally I didn't even want to do. I was supposed to be a guest on a show. And it turns into this interview, and the interview essentially becomes a 3-ring circus of detractor drama that then benefits detractors for how many months and ruins everyone's experience here on my content for like many months. And I learned my lesson on that. I really did. Like, if that hadn't happened, likely I might have gone through with this documentary. But after last year, I think I've learned my lesson.
Like I said, maybe there will be one day when I decide that a documentary makes sense. Oh.
There you have it. I'm avoiding it. I'm glad I did. Okay? So there you go. And no, some people are being so stupid because, again, what is it with these people who think that life is black and white? Because, like, literally now people in the chat, oh, so that means Mike Clum is a detractor. No, it doesn't, stupid. And just saying that is incredibly stupid, that you would even say something like that. What are you talking about? Life is not black and white. I keep telling you this. There's many shades of gray and many compromises and middle-of-the-road things. This is where reality is. It's not either someone absolutely loves you or absolutely hates you. Either they're your biggest fan or your biggest detractor. No. No. I feel like Mike Clum would have done a neutral take. I do believe that. Like, he would have done a neutral take where, you know, you judge for yourself. Right? But the fact is that when his history is Boogie and now EDP, these guys that are, you know, totally different from me, but almost similar situation to themselves, what does that mean for what this documentary would have been observed? Because here's the truth. In life, it's not about what's real. It's about how it's perceived. That's actually a really good point. In life, it's not about what's factually true. It's not about what actually happened. It's about the perception of reality. Because it doesn't matter what the truth of the matter is. If everyone believes something else, then that's their reality. And that's the situation with me. Is that even though I have nothing to do with Boogie, I have nothing to do with EDP, I have nothing to do with Wings of Redemption, I'm nothing like any of them, people will constantly group me into them anyway because the perception is told to do that by a mob of people on the internet, right? So, that's the truth. Even if I did a documentary, right, that really did cover me in a very fair way and actually showed both sides of the equation and actually fairly covered everything going on, right? Guess what would have happened? People still would have said, wow, look, this is the documentary that exposes Phil and does horrible things. What? They still would have said that. You know? I really believe that. Like, again, I don't think I'm ever going to get a fair shake. I don't think that would ever happen. Because it seems to me like, no matter what, there's always an underlying agenda on the internet. Of, you know, cancel culture, fuck this guy, he's the guy who we've hated on for over a decade, let's just keep that bandwagon rolling, because it always gets us the lulz and gives us content to talk about. No, I don't think that I want to be milked. Okay? I don't. I'm done with this nonsensical stuff. I'm just going to do my own content, okay? And, you know, it is what it is. There's going to be ups and downs to that. There's going to be times when I'm playing a prominent game, there's something exciting going on, and people are interested. There's going to be times, like, literally right now, where it's 1 million RPGs and people have burnout, and they're waiting for new content that's different, right? And that's the case, and it's never going to be, you know, that situation where we're going to always have prominence or attention. But as long as I have a positive viewer base who come and support me no matter what I do, I'm good.
All that matters is more money.
And I have that. I do have that. So I'm happy and grateful for that. Maybe that's why I'm different from all the others who they have to make drama in order to get any kind of attention or popularity. I don't have to do that. I can still be successful without that nonsense. And I'm happy for that and grateful for that. Because if that were the case, if the only way I could get noticed was drama, then I would stop making content entirely. Really. I would just quit.
Fuck you. You're a liar. There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Still has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.